Hello all, it is sunny, it is May the 1st, which means it's my birthday tomorrow. It also is Calan Mai to my fellow Welshies and anyone who celebrates Beltane. I'm settled and ready for this one with my drink of the day, which is an iced pina colada. Don't worry, it's not alcoholic. It's actually tea, it's from Bird and Blend. If you've never been, I highly recommend that you do. It is an experience and I absolutely love their range. It's one of my favourite non-bookshops. Now, today's video is going to be a little different from my usual chaotic romance rambles, because this is something that's really important to me, both as an author and also as a lifelong book lover. Recently, we celebrated Indie Bookstore Day. If you don't know what that is, it is a day meant to shine a light on all the small, cozy, fiercely independent bookshops that are the heartbeat of our communities. But whilst indie bookstores and indie authors alike were running events, hosting sign-ins, doing everything they could to actually connect to readers with meaningful stories, good old Jeff Bezos and the Zon decided to respond by holding a massive book sale, one so steeply discounted that they actually operated at a loss. I get it, it's tempting, books are expensive, especially today, and when you see a shiny hardcover for sale for a few pounds, it's hard to say no. Trust me, I understand the appeal, but I think it's really important to know, or at least to talk about, the hidden cost of those discounts and who actually pays for them. I mean, come on, the thing is about Amazon, they can afford to take a loss on books. They make their real money elsewhere through Prime, through advertising, even through logistics. Books are just bait. They don't care. It's literally just bait. They're a way to pull you in and keep you spending in their ecosystem. Meanwhile, indie bookstores, indie publishers, indie authors, we don't have billion-dollar safety nets behind us. Every undercut sale on Amazon chips away at independent businesses who survived by literally the slimmest margins. And it's not just the stores. As an indie author myself, I see this up close because when a reader buys my paperback through Amazon, they take over half of my royalties. Half. That's after I've already paid for it to be designed, formatted, and distributed elsewhere by myself. On the other hand, when readers buy directly from my website, or even through places like TikTok Shop where I can sell directly, I receive a much larger share. It's the difference between scraping by and actually being able to keep creating. Direct sales don't just help me, they literally keep my dream alive. They allow me to offer you better prices, exclusive goodies when I can post the order out myself, and they also give me the freedom to create without having to bend to a massive corporation's algorithm. When you support an indie bookstore or an indie author, you're doing so much more than just buying a book. You are preserving a community and also community spaces where creativity thrives. We're investing in diverse voices, which is so important, in marginalised creators, in the weird and wonderful stories that aren't always backed by giant marketing budgets, because you're choosing stories with heart over market trends. And here's another hard truth: algorithms do not favour indie voices. They're built to prioritise big publishers with massive ad budgets and established media buzz. Without readers making conscious, intentional choices, which is seeking out, following, buying from indie creators, those voices are drowned out, no matter how beautiful, how important, or how resonant their stories are. And don't get me wrong, I know affordability matters, especially today. Not everyone can spend £20 on a new hardcover every single time a new special edition come out, because we know there's like 7 of each different book these days. But the good news is there are many ways to support indie authors and small businesses without breaking the bank. First, and probably the most simple, is many indie authors already offer cheaper ebook prices. We aren't locked into traditional publishing price models. We can run sales, offer discounts, or simply just price lower because we have that flexibility. Not just that, but indie authors often organise massive community events. Like, if you haven't already heard about it, there's Indievisible, where hundreds of indie authors price their indie books at 99p or free, completely free. Now, Hayley Anderson, who runs Indievisible, is an absolute powerhouse for this movement. And if you don't already follow her on Instagram, you absolutely should, because she can keep you updated on every event. There is actually a summer indie author fest coming up very soon. There's even a special event for charity where authors are donating their fee to raise money for incredible causes. Many indie authors also do free Kindle promotions where you can grab their books during a limited window. You can even just message an indie author and say, listen, when you're running your next free book promotion. But trust me, when you grab a free book from an indie author, you are still helping. You're boosting their rankings, their visibility, also the reach of that book. Beyond grabbing any discounted books, one of the best free ways to help an indie author is signing up for newsletters. Most authors, including myself, use our newsletters to give our readers early access to sales, free bonus content, and sometimes even free books, and updates about where and when you can grab deals. Plus, newsletters let authors speak directly to you without the algorithm deciding whether or not you see our posts. And of course, you can buy indie books in a lot of indie bookstores themselves, which are so much more than just a place to buy a book. If you haven't been to an indie bookstore, I highly recommend it. They are community hubs. They're not just a place to browse books. They're places where you can stumble across a story you didn't even know you needed. They're places where readers can meet authors, where local writers are celebrated, where kids fall in love with reading because someone actually took the time to recommend the perfect book. I know I absolutely love my local one, which isn't very, very local, but there's a beautiful one in Abergavenny, which is near me. And it is a curated space. Like when you walk into an indie bookshop, you're not facing book listings on a website that's calculated based on the number of sales numbers or ad budgets. You're walking into a place shaped by real life people who love reading. These places also champion diverse voices. They stock indie authors, debut novels. They recommend books based on passion, not profit. So when you support an indie bookstore, you're supporting 1,000 small little things that you might not even see. Like you're supporting local jobs, you're supporting community events, you're keeping a physical space alive where art, discussion, discovery can happen without the interference of a massive corporation deciding what you should see. As you can tell, I'm very, very passionate about this. Like I'm so passionate about this because buying from an indie bookstore might sometimes cost a little more than an Amazon sale, but what you're buying is so much bigger than a book. Like you're buying a piece of your community. Like you are investing in a future where creativity is valued, it's not monetized. And the great news is you don't even have to live local to support them. A lot of indie shops these days have websites. There are also websites like bookshop.org that let you order online while still directing a portion of the sale back to local bookshops. So if and when you can, choose indie. Every book you buy from a local shop is a vote for stories that matter. But don't get me wrong, I know it's extremely easy to be swept up in the big flashy sales. It's very tempting to pick the cheapest, fastest option. But every time you choose to support an indie bookstore, every time you choose to buy directly from an indie author, every time you simply subscribe to a newsletter or download a free ebook during a promotion, you're doing something extraordinary. Like, I will die on that hill because you're keeping dreams alive. You're keeping my dream alive. Like, you're choosing stories with soul. You're making sure that small, strange, weird girl fiction and beautiful voices don't get drowned out by noise and algorithms. And probably one of the best reasons is you're giving us motivation, you're reminding us why we do it. So, for those of you who advocate for indie authors, who support indie stories, thank you so much. You are a massive part of this magic, and we couldn't do without you. I hope this resonated with a few of you. I really hope it does. As you can tell, I'm very, very passionate about this. But if you do have a favourite indie bookstore, indie author, or bookish event that you love that I haven't heard about or mentioned, please drop it in the comments. Please, please, please. Shout each other out, lift each other up, make this community stronger. And if you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share it, and I'll see you soon.